Cool.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our session as part of our fall district training on Social Media 101. And I'll be one of your facilitators today. I'm Ted Fagel from Rotary Club of Poipu Beach. And joining me today as co-facilitator is Randy Soriano. Randy, you want to wave? And Randy from the Club of Hawai'i. So we're going to tag team a little bit today, and we're going to try to keep this pretty simple and basic because we've done various types of social media training in the past, and we discovered that some people needed some more of the basics before they jumped into some of the more advanced training. So we're going to try to do that today. So we have a few slides that we're going to go through, and then we're going to live dangerously, and we're going to actually try to do some live demos. And we're going to do one from Facebook on the desktop, and then for the first time ever, I'm going to try sharing my iPhone through Zoom. So fingers crossed that all the technology works today. High risk, high reward, right? So let's kick off here. Hopefully you're seeing some slides come up on your screen.
Yes.
Okay. So today our objectives that we set out are three things. One, how to understand creating a social media strategy for your club. So just going through a few high-level steps of how to think about what you need to do and what you need to prepare for getting your club on social media and keeping social media as part of the normal activities of your club. Second, then we'll do some hands-on online demo of understanding some of the basics of posting content and interacting on Facebook. And then thirdly, we'll do a demo through the iPhone of understanding some of the basics of posting content and interacting on Instagram. And as you all know, there are lots of other social media platforms. If you come to Social Media 201, you can learn some more about those. But as Randy and I chatted, thinking about Social Media 101, we thought it's best to start with the big two, and that's Facebook and Instagram, and you can always grow and expand from there once you've mastered those two. So let's jump into developing a strategy. I hear from a lot of people around social media of, I just don't know where to start. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know how to look at funny cat videos in my personal news feed, but I don't know what to do with my club or how I would approach this. So we're going to talk about just a few key steps, and those are going to be: one, you want to do some planning. Two, you want to optimize your profiles in social media for your club to have call to actions and make sure people find it easy to find you and interact with you. You want to be consistent. And one of the key points of social media is be social. Lots of times people forget this, that we think it's a broadcast, that we're just throwing information out into the air. And that's okay, but that doesn't necessarily get you the kind of engagement and reach that you're looking in building your audience and helping people understand what it is that we do in Rotary and why they might be interested to join us. So that kind of leads into the next step we'll talk about, which is in sharing information on your club social media accounts. You want to share and answer the question, why Rotary? We're not just talking to ourselves, but hopefully we're talking to our community. We're talking with prospective members in our communities as well. We also want to collaborate. we get further engagement and reach, the more we collaborate with each other and with other organizations. And then the last step we'll talk about is just diving in and going. Don't be afraid. If you make a mistake, it's the internet. I tell people, people are going to look at your content for 15 to 30 seconds unless it really grabs their attention. So if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You can always go back and correct it, or you can do better the next time. So hopefully you'll approach this without any fear. So first step in thinking about how do I do social media for my club is you want to do some planning. And if you're in a larger club, you want to think about having a team of maybe 2 to 4 people who are going to be responsible or the leaders around posting your social media content. If you're in a smaller club, you may be the person, but you probably want to have somebody in your club who's at least a backup admin on all of the accounts, so that if something happens to you, there's always somebody else who can at least access the accounts and keep things going. I don't, Randy, in your club, how do you handle this? Do you have a team?
Well, specifically, we have about 3 people who can post on our page. I think one of the main things that's important is making sure that you choose people who, one, are super active, obviously. You want people that are constantly at events, at meetings, at community service projects. But 2 rules of thumb I kind of always go by is, since you're creating content, make sure that you have someone that's comfortable grammatically and with writing. Also someone that has some basic understanding of photography, right? So like framing, just so that everything's aesthetically pleasing. One thing that we kind of worked on in our club was Susan and I and Lane and Capson, who are all people who are able to produce content for our club. We kind of all had a training because if you were actually to go to any of our pages, all of the content seems like one person's writing it. So just making sure that everyone is writing in the same voice.
Good. Yeah. In fact, and having more than one person as an administrator on each account, I just want to hammer that home. I got an email a couple of weeks ago from one of our clubs in our district that they don't have access to their own Facebook page, and they're trying to figure out how to get back their admin access. And so I tried to give them a few ideas and pointers of how to recover that. But they're having to go through a whole lot of extra work now because they didn't have multiple admins in the club set up. The other key point here around planning is thinking about your target audience. I see a lot of Rotary clubs around the world who post a lot of content as if they are only talking to themselves. So acronyms like TRF or PHF or they're writing a post in the name of the club, and the content of the post says, "I remember when Bob was something." If you're trying to use social media to accomplish a club goal of, 1, sharing information with your club members, but 2, sharing information with your general community and potential partners in your community, and 3, sharing information with people in the community who might be interested to join us, you want to think about, who am I speaking to when I write this post? Who am I trying to reach? And I would suggest that you want to think about all 3 types of those audiences. And in my club, I actually put the emphasis on the 3rd, which is I'm always trying to talk to people that I think are potentially prospective members, and trying to give them information about what is Rotary, why might you be interested to join Rotary. And that leads to the next point of what you will post. So think about having a variety of things. because we all react to different things, and not everything we post is going to engage everybody. So you want to think about having interesting photos from projects or from meetings. You want to maybe have some graphics that you share that are Rotary graphics that are interesting or fun or thought-provoking. You might want to share a quote from somebody. You might want to share a newspaper article about Rotary or about your club. You might want to share something from Rotary International that you think would be of interest in your community. So those are all kinds of different types of things you want to think about and mix it up. Don't just do one thing. Randy, anything else you would add to that or other types that you think of?
I think that's a good generalization of what you should post. Rule of thumb, I think what we try to do when we're trying to find content is create a schedule for yourself as well. I think that's the easiest thing. So if you go to our page, every Monday we have our meeting post. Every Thursday we have our happy hour post. So that way it kind of fills the calendar, and then fill in the gaps with like other content. So we like try to take things, we repost things from other Rotary clubs, from Rotary International. Like this week, for example, there was a great article about that included us from LinkedIn, and we reposted that. So I just think just making sure that you're keeping a variety. And then, I mean, social media is such a good opportunity to just showcase other press and other media that Rotary has been a part of as well, right? So if you have other members in the club that are really into the news or really into looking for news articles that Rotary has been a part of, there's opportunities to repost that as well.
Yeah, for our club, we try to post to Instagram twice a week, a club meeting and a project or some other interest item. And then we'll post a little more frequently to Facebook. We'll include those same 2 Instagram posts, but we'll generally post anywhere 3 to 5 times a week on Facebook, depending on what's going on and what interesting content that we find. But it's not something that you have to do multiple times a day. There used to be some advice out there that you ought to be posting 5 times a day. You don't need to do that anymore. And also think about where you will post. So we're proposing, think first about Facebook and Instagram, and think about what content you're going to put where. You may not post everything on Instagram that you would on Facebook, and vice versa. As you get more advanced, you'll want to think about, do I want to post this video on YouTube, or do I want to post an article on LinkedIn and other platforms as well? So the next step is, once you've gotten access to your page, and we'll go through a demo of that in a little bit, you want to think about optimizing the profiles on your page. So these are just a couple screenshots from Randy's club Instagram and my club Facebook on a mobile device. You want to think about having in your Facebook profile, have compelling images. In your Instagram account grid, also having compelling images, so that if people go to your account page, there are images there that capture their attention and they want to look at them and learn more. In general, I think the most compelling images are photos of people. We all like to look at other people. That tends to draw us in. And the kinds of photos about people that draw us in the most are of people doing things. So actually, the example on the slide here is both good and bad. It's bad in the sense that we're all lined up and posed for this photograph, but it's good that we're all holding our paintbrushes and we have our ladder in the background, and it's fairly clear that we're in the middle of a painting project when we stopped to pose for this. We also posted lots of photos of us actually in the process of painting and video of us in the process of painting as well. But those are the kinds of things that will really grab people. A video of people doing something, or videos, even for club meetings, instead of having your speaker stop and pose for a photo, I try to just take a series of photos while the person is speaking. And I'm doing this even now on Zoom meetings. I'll try to zoom in on the window of the speaker and just take a whole series of photos to try to capture an interesting expression as they're talking, whether they're moving their hands or an interesting facial expression, which is just more compelling and attention grabbing than somebody stopping and putting on a smile for a photo. Also think about using people of action photos. And that is referring to adding our Rotary branding onto that. So in my virtual background today, you see I overlaid the "Together We Learn" people of action tagline. Those are things that you can do using the tool called poaphotos.com, and that'll be in the resource list that we share with you. We also did that in a tutorial at some district training last year. Also, be sure to use official Rotary branding. Rotary introduced new Rotary branding 7 years ago now. We've hammered this in district training for a whole long time now, but we still have a lot of clubs in our district and other parts of the world that will go look at their social media account or other collateral, and they have the old version of the Rotary wheel, or they don't have the word Rotary next to the Rotary wheel. So if you are using a Rotary wheel that doesn't look like the one on the screen here from Randy's club profile, you're probably using the wrong one. There are a few color variations that you can use, but it needs to look like the one in this eClub profile on the screen. Make sure you have links, emails, phone numbers up to date in your profiles, because your objective is you're trying to get people to contact you. Maybe they want to partner with you for a fundraiser. Maybe they want to join your service project. Maybe they want to join your club. So you want to make it easy for them to interact and contact you. And you want to focus on some key points in your bio. Randy, you want to comment on what you have in the bio for your club and why you put that?
Of course. So I think the main thing in bios are, one, to summarize your club, but also to differentiate, right? Because if you go on Instagram, for example, you put in Rotary, there's going to be thousands of Rotary clubs that pop up. So really this 1 to 2 sentence summary really needs to allow people to understand who you are. So for us specifically, we're the first e-club in the district. So that's something that we're always going to want to promote, right? And then one of the other things that we thought was really important, and maybe you guys might find this to be important as well, is reminding people of the shift that we're on Zoom meetings, right? Because people are so used to or going to our once a month e-meetings and our once a month in-person meetings. So reminding them that this is the new meeting format. In your bios on the top of your page, you can also include a link. Our club used to have our website, but now we're using our Zoom link just because we think it's the easiest call to action for people. So really, when you're putting things on here, you want to make sure that there's a call to action. So let's say our bio said something about learn more about our club. Obviously, the link would be the website as opposed to the Zoom link. But since we're trying to push people to the new meetings, we're going to have the Zoom link there. Also, exactly what Ted said, make sure that you have your contact information updated. So if you see right directly under our bio, there's options to message us and contact us. So make sure that's always up to date. To be honest, we've probably got maybe 10 new members off of social media. And just because it's honestly free marketing, free PR for you. So making sure that your social media is up to date with contact information is key.
Yeah, my club is about to induct a member who contacted us through Facebook, and we have another member lead that we reached out to. Well, no, I should say he reached out to us in Instagram, and so we're inviting him to our next meeting and talking to him about being a prospective member. So this is another channel for us to attract members and talk about what it is we do and why they might be interested to join us. So as you're posting, is there a question?
Yeah,
Or,
Ted, I had a question. Should we be going out and like, actively like seeking friends, trying to
yes.
build up your friend, your group of friends? So does somebody like in your club, you or somebody, do you like go out and just like click on people that you would like to like randomly friend?
Well, yeah, I do personally,
Yeah.
and I invite all of my friends to like our club page
Okay.
because then they see the content about our club, and if they like, comment, and share, that helps the reach and engagement of our posts. If there's an event and they post and they click that they're interested or they're going to my club's event, that shows to all of their friends. So the more you can get your club members and your friends involved, the better, because that gives you more visibility, and it potentially gets other people then to like your page. And it gets suggested to them, for example, in Facebook as, oh, a bunch of your friends like this page, you might also want to like this page. Or specifically ask your club members, please go out and invite all your friends in Facebook to like our Facebook page.
Also to support Ted's point earlier about social media requiring you to be social, I think one of the key takeaways from today is, along with content, to Ted's point earlier, that you don't have to post content as frequently as you had to before to beat the algorithm. I think more so you have to just be consistent with socializing. So I think for us specifically, maybe let's say 1 year or 2 years ago, we were posting like every day. But now what we really focus on is more just socializing. To Ted's point, is just like me and Susan literally just go into our account for about like half an hour every day, and we just constantly just like people and like their posts, comment on their posts, and we're commenting as the club, so people feel as though it's a two-way conversation and there's actually a genuine relationship there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the main key, I think, to being in social media and making it effective.
Yeah, in our Instagram account, we like a lot of local businesses who support us in fundraisers and other ways. And we go in and actively like their posts, sometimes leave a comment on their posts that we want to continue to nurture and support that partnership with them throughout the year. And that helps them in their social media efforts as well. So Randy mentioned before, and I did too, about your voice. Think about when you're writing as if you are the club. So what is it that, as the club, who are you writing to, and what do you want them to do? Another key takeaway for social media is that, for the most part, people only do what you ask them to do. I went to social media training several years ago, and there was a guy who had done a lot of YouTube videos, and he was getting thousands of followers on his YouTube videos, or not followers, but thousands of likes on his individual YouTube videos. And he said, I couldn't figure out though why I didn't have people subscribing to my channel so that they would get notifications when I put out a new video. And so he said, I started recording in my YouTube video. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button below. And he said, all of a sudden, my subscriber numbers started to go way up, just because I asked them to take that action. And you can't assume that people will do something based on what you're putting out there. Sometimes you need to specifically provide that call to action of what do you want them to do with this information. Think about your content. We talked about frequency, having consistent branding. In Instagram, some people will say you ought to think about your posts as a magazine layout. I personally am not quite as hung up on that as some people are, but it's a good idea if you can have sort of a similar look and feel to the kinds of things that you're posting over time. And you want to have that interaction with your audience. It's not just throwing stuff out on the internet and hoping somebody will see it and do something with it. You also want to think about answering the question, why Rotary? You want to share stories that show your club's impact in the community. Maybe share somebody's Rotary story. Somebody went on a National Immunization Day, or they went on an international service project, or how they came about to join Rotary. Putting those online, in addition to telling them at our meetings, is very powerful. Or just shoot a little 1-minute video of some of your club members talking about why did they join Rotary, or why do they like being in Rotary. Telling stories about being people of action. So here in the image is an example from Rotary Club of Kahala Sunrise. This was from a recent project where apparently they were sorting marine debris. And they paused to look up and take this photo, but it was in the middle of their project. You can kind of tell they're smiling even behind all of their face masks. And then we overlaid the transform wording here. Sandy, you have a question?
You gotta unmute. You gotta unmute, Sandy. I think she's trying to say.
I'm sorry. Should we be seeing what you were talking about on our screen, Tim?
You should be seeing some slides on your screen. Are you not seeing them?
I have been seeing the social media 101 slide during the presentation. Is it just me, or?
It's not changing.
You're seeing slides? Okay.
Yeah, it hasn't been changing. The slides haven't been changing.
It's not changing.
You're not into a slideshow. You're just you've got all the slides up there on the left-hand side of the page.
I think you might need to go into slideshow view. But
Or
I just
play.
feel like I'm missing out so much of what you're talking about.
Oh my. I'm sorry, it was showing correctly on my screen. I'm gonna try stopping this and, or maybe, let me try a different way.
Perfect. Sorry, Ted. I was trying to send you in a chat.
No, you should have stopped me early because it was displaying correctly here. Let's see.
I think we were all thinking this is the warm up to your slideshow. We're like, wow, what a great introduction.
And I'm trying to get out of this and it's not letting me out. I'm going to stop sharing and start over again. Let's try that.
While Ted's doing that, does anyone have any questions over what we went over so far?
I think the first challenge for our club, for instance, is really to get, at the planning stage, to get people who are interested and who can make a team. Mm-hmm. That's really a challenge, Many people say, "Oh, I don't know how to handle this," and so.
Yeah, I mean, I think what could be easy is maybe if you specifically know someone in your club, or if not, you have like a resource like Ted or I, maybe just setting up a one-on-one training. I think really some of the things that scare people is that they just don't know. but honestly, like for example, for myself, I've done a training for Susan and I've done a training for Lane and Capson to kind of just make it simple for them so that they feel confident. And I think just walking through with them, allowing them to understand the process is just key, right? So, I mean, for the future, if you run into a roadblock like that, just feel free to reach out to resources like Ted and I, and I'm sure we
Okay.
can be able to walk them through the process.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Of course.
Marika, what I heard in a meeting is that some clubs who have a lot of older members that either are not social media or whatever, what they did is they said, does anyone have a son or a granddaughter or somebody that would like to volunteer to help us who knows how to do all this stuff? And they were able to get some of these granddaughters very tech savvy, and she just kind of helped until they could get somebody in the club trained, because I guess for younger people, especially like you know, Randy's group or younger, I mean, they can just whip that stuff out like super quick, and they understand how to do it well. So yeah, maybe there's somebody who's connected to the club that could help get it started, right?
Okay, thank you.
Are people seeing a slide now that says collaborate?
Yep, you're good.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, I'll do that too. I like that. Yeah.
So collaborate. Think about collaborating with club members, like we said, asking them to invite their friends to like your Facebook page, your Instagram account. Ask them when you post something to your club's Facebook page, ask them to click the like button, to add a comment, to share it out to their friends, because that will cause Facebook to think, oh, this is compelling content that people are interested in. I ought to start showing this to more people. But if I put something out and nobody clicks like, nobody adds a comment, nobody clicks the share, then Facebook is only going to show that to between 2 to 6% of the people who follow my page. So engaging your club members. Also, have your club members take photos, generate content that you can share on your page as well. You might want to collaborate with other nonprofits, highlight something they're doing or something you're doing together, that you can share some of their posts, they can share some of your posts. The same with your corporate sponsors and donors. Other clubs, if you're doing a project together with another club, you may want to cross-post some content there, or ask each other's followers to follow the other club, for example. And also in your posts, use some district hashtags and highlight to the district PI team like me, if we're not seeing your content, to reshare it to the district pages, just ping me and let me know that, and we'll go out and get it and make that happen. But let's also include in our posts hashtags like Rotary in Hawaii and People of Action, so that when people do go and search by hashtag, they're going to find our content. And then the last step is dive in, don't be afraid. It is the internet. Put it out there. If you make the mistake, you can either correct it, delete it, or you can improve upon it the next time. But start your journey. Don't feel hesitant. You always want to be testing and modifying things. The thing about the internet, or at least Facebook, is you're getting instant feedback. So you know right away how many people are liking this post, how many people have seen this post, how many people have posted a comment on this post. And you may begin to see trends of, oh, people really like it when I post a photo of my puppy, but they don't like it when I post this graphic that I pulled down from Rotary International. So that tells me, oh, I ought to post more photos of puppies in my feed, because that's what the people I'm interacting with want to see and interact with. And then you want to monitor that and make adjustments. Randy, any other comments you want to add to that?
Well, I mean, to the point of this slide, I think what's important for you guys to take away from this is that social media isn't just, there's not one like one algorithm hack that you can just do to make it perfect, and then all of a sudden you're going to have this amazing social media presence and you're going to have amazing engagement, right? So to Ted's point, just jump in. It's going to take time. Social media is totally trial and error, and it's going to be something that you can build upon, right? So you can't just like come up with a hashtag strategy or like start tagging people and think that it's going to just magically be effective. So I think to Ted's point, just dive in and make sure that you're just tracking what works for your club, because every club and every profile is going to have different strengths.
Okay, so let's pause there. Any questions about what we've talked about having a plan or a strategy for your club around social media? Okay, if not, let's move on then and just do a few demos of some basic things. And some of you may know this already. If you do, feel free to drop out or look the other way. If not, hopefully this will be useful just to see us go through a few of the basics. I'm going to pull up Facebook here in just a moment and go through a few things like adding another admin to your Facebook page, or deleting somebody as an admin, or adding someone as an editor to your Facebook page. How do you update your cover image, update a profile pic, just create a post, whether that's with text or an image or a hyperlink. We've talked already some about getting likes, comments, and shares, and how that impacts engagement and reach. Also show you about tagging people in photos or in posts. We'll talk a little bit about hashtags. Hashtags didn't used to be important on Facebook, but Facebook is beginning to promote the use of hashtags a little bit. And then also just sharing a post to a page. So if you see a post in your Facebook feed that you want to share to your club's page, how do you do that? So we're going to switch over. Are you able to see this window with this Facebook page?
You're good.
Everybody see that? Okay.
Ed, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
That the whole concept of hashtagging is kind of confusing to old people who are older. So can you just kind of briefly explain that?
Yeah, hashtags started on Twitter as a way to find posts on that social media platform. So you inserted, for us old people, we used to call it the pound sign, but now it's called the hashtag. So you inserted the hashtag sign and then a word, and then other people could go and they could search on those hashtag words, and it would bring up all the posts that included that hashtag word. Well, that spread to Instagram. So that's a common way for people to find accounts and posts on Instagram, or even on Instagram, you can follow a hashtag. So for example, there's a hashtag poipu in my area. So a lot of people who are posting content about Poipu Beach will include hashtag Poipu. So if I go into Instagram, I can search hashtag Poipu, or I can even follow hashtag Poipu, and I can see all of the posts related to that area of our island. Does that help? Does that make sense?
Oh, you're on mute, Benton.
Yes, that helped greatly. Thank you.
Okay. So it used to be Facebook didn't use hashtags. if you put one on Facebook, it didn't hurt you, but it didn't really benefit you. But in the last 6 months, Facebook has started promoting the use of hashtags. And this could be them testing it out to see. But I think as we're seeing more and more Instagram features be implemented in Facebook, that this is one that they're testing and migrating over from Instagram to Facebook. So you probably don't want to use as many hashtags in Facebook as you do in Instagram, but having a few now looks like it's actually a good idea in Facebook. So let's, first of all, and you'll notice as we go through this, Facebook changed its desktop layout in the last few months. So even people like me who are on here every day are sometimes struggling to find where did they put this now. And that happens about every 6 months. Facebook will move something somewhere and you'll have to get used to, oh, now that's over there. But it just takes a little time to get used to as they make changes. So now, so this is my personal Facebook news feed. Because I'm an admin on my club's page as well as a bunch of other pages, I can go to the, at the top of this window, there's this flag icon at the top. If I click on that flag icon, that's going to take me to the Facebook pages that I'm an admin for.
Ted, can you make your screen bigger? I don't know if it's just me being a blind bat.
Yeah, and I have a very big screen, so I'm not sure exactly how much it's displaying in Zoom. Is that helping at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here, because I have multiple pages, it's showing me multiples. If your club was the only one that you were an admin, it would be showing just your club page. So I'm going to click on my club page. And then it's bringing up my view as an admin of this club page. So it's giving me some insights. So in the last month, it's telling me that we reached 2,184 people. We actually had a big increase last month. I don't remember off the top of my head why that is, but I could look back at my posts and try to figure out why that was. We also had a very good increase in our post engagements. So let me stop and say people reached is how many people saw a post from our page. Post engagements is how many times did our posts get a like, a comment, or a share. The more engagement you have on a post, the more reach you're going to get. And that's back again to Facebook is, they want to show each of us individually content that's interesting to us and that we want to engage with. So the more people like and engage with a post, then Facebook sees that as a strong signal that, hey, this is interesting stuff. Other people are going to want to see this too. And so they're going to start displaying it to other people. And then we had 6 new page likes in the past month. So people who clicked the like button and said that they wanted to follow us as well. There's our about information. There's our first post. If I want to, let's first of all say I'm not I need to add somebody else in the club to be an admin of this page. So we need to add somebody else to the team who can watch after the page, see the insights, share content to it. Then I want to go over to the left-hand side where it says settings and click on settings. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to look for page roles. And I'm going to click on page roles. And you see there's lots of other settings there that I might want to go through and adjust and update over time. But this is one of the key ones for making sure we have access. So I'm going to scroll up here and existing page roles. In my club, we currently have 4 people who have admin access. So these are all people who are fairly proficient in social and Facebook and agreed to be an administrator of the page. If I only had one, I'd really want to be looking at adding another one. If I do want to add another one, then I would go up where it says assign a new page role. And let's say I want to add Randy to be an admin of my, or an admin or an editor of my page. I start to type in Randy's name. It pulls up his profile. I would click on his profile, and then here it's showing me the default page role that I'm going to give him as editor. So he's not going to be able to change the settings on my page, but he could share content to my page. If I wanted him to be able to do everything, include the setting and changing the settings on my page, then I'd give him an admin role. And there are some other roles here. I don't know, I tend to just use admin and editor. Randy, do you use any of these others?
Not really. I've assigned an advertiser on a separate account before, but that's primarily just for someone that's running Google ads for that account. Facebook ads for that account. So to be honest, most times you're always gonna add someone as an admin or an editor. So I wouldn't want to like convolute the conversation. So when you guys go in there and start adding people, just honestly, if you trust them with most of the permissions of your page, just add them as an admin.
Yeah, that's what I do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then if I was happy with that, I would click the add button, and Randy would get a notification in his Facebook that I've added him as an admin to our page. And I believe he has to click a button to accept that after so that's pretty simple, but it's pretty important for a Rotary Club to have continuity from year to year. If one of us is off traveling, or we get hit by a bus or whatever it is, there's somebody else who can actually access the page and do things with the page. So let's go out of settings, and I'm going to go back to the page. And up at the top is the big banner image. In Facebook terminology, that's called the cover image. This is something you may want to update over time. Some people do this fairly frequently. Sometimes people do it once a month. I tend to do it a little less frequently than that, but it's really your preference and what your audience reacts to. So if I wanted to change this cover image, I would come here and click where it says edit. And then I can use a photo that I've already uploaded into Facebook, or video that I've already uploaded into Facebook. I could create a slideshow from images on Facebook. Or if I've taken a new photo and I want to now put that new photo on Facebook, I would click on upload photo as an example. Let's see if I have one here. So let's say I wanted to use this photo as my cover image. I would select that. It's on my computer here. I would select this. I would click open. And Facebook is uploading that image. It's in the center here. It says drag to reposition. So I hover the cursor over that 4-pointed arrow, and then I click and I drag, and I can move the image down here so that I actually have her face in the window. And once I'm good with that, I would move up here to the upper right and click on save changes. And then that image would become the cover image for this Facebook page.
Guys, keep in mind, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Keep in mind that I always caution clubs that honestly, when people click into your page, this is going to be the first thing they see at the top of the page. So just make sure that it's something that you feel represents your club really well. Ted's example for his club was an amazing picture just because it shows people doing a community service project. It shows camaraderie. It shows strength in numbers. It kind of showcases everything that the club stands for, right? So just make sure that you keep that in mind when selecting a photo for your header page, your header photo.
Yeah. Next is the profile picture, and that's the image that's in this circle under the cover image. So that's called a profile pic. Same thing, if I wanted to change that, I'm going to click on this camera icon. Most Rotary clubs use some type of Rotary branding in this profile pic. Some clubs will use just the Rotary wheel, which is fine. If you want to put the Rotary wheel in there, just make sure it's the right one. In this case, I put our club's logo that we generated out of the Rotary Brand Center. There are pros and cons. This is more difficult to read on a mobile device than just the Rotary wheel, but this also gives you the Poipu Beach part. So if I wanted to change that for some reason, I'd click the camera. I'd go through similar process that I want to edit the profile picture, and I'd click on that. And then I could go and I could select any of these other photos and make that my profile pic. Or I could click on upload photo and go through the same process that I just did for the cover image, and then click save. And that would update my profile pic. Let's see, let's go and just create a post. So if I want to add a post onto my page, I could scroll down here, and in the right side it says create post. So I'm going to click on that. And if I just want to write some text, I would do that here. This is a text post. And maybe I'm just writing some text update. I could do that. Those tend to get less engagement than posts with a photo. So I rarely do this, but you could, and then I could just go down and click post. More common is I want to share some photo. So I'm going to click this green icon, which is, if I hover over it, it says photo video, but that's an icon of an image. And it's going to then, on my desktop, open up and have me select where my image is. So I could select another image, say that I want to post this image of hands. I'd select that, I'd click on open, and then Facebook is going to import that image and show, and I might add, we collaborated, except I can't type today, collaborated this week with another club, whatever the text is. Now, I might want to add more photos. I could go and click to add another one. I go through the same process, and Facebook's going to upload that and automatically make this a multi-photo post. And they're going to automatically figure out how they're going to display the photos in the post. And when I'm good with that, Then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on the post button, and that's going to put it onto my page. And I'm actually posting this. So now on my page is this post, and I've realized now that was a mistake. I didn't actually intend to put this post on my Facebook page for my club. So to correct that, I'm going to go to the upper right corner of the post, click on the 3 dots. It's going to give me this drop-down menu, and I could click on Edit Post, and I could go in then and update my text or correct a typo, something like that. Or, oh, this post didn't even belong on this Facebook page, or I want to start all over again. Then I would click Delete Post. And it'll say, are you sure you want to delete this post? And I click Delete again. And then it's removed. So it was that simple. If you make a mistake, it's that simple to get rid of it. You may, as you're posting, 20% of the time that you're posting, you may want to have a call to action like join us, and have them and ask them to click the link in your bio for more information about your club. Or you might want to ask them to click a link to a ticket for your fundraiser, or click a link to do something else like that. If I wanted to I wanted to link to something else on the internet, let's say I want to I'm going to bring up the district website, and I want to share this statement from Rotary International on my club's Facebook page, for example. I could go up to the URL. Whoops. It's not letting me select that. I go up and highlight this URL, and I'm going to right click and copy that. I'm going to go back to the tab with my Facebook page, and then I'm going to right click and paste that URL into Facebook post. Facebook is going to go out and make the connection to that link and import the default image. It's called the Open Graph image for that post. So I now have created a post on my club page that is a link to this web page on our district website. And I could go and add some text, more text about that, about why I want you to click on this post, why it's important to read. And when I'm ready, then again, I'd go to the bottom here and click on the post button. In Facebook terms, that's called a link post, because I'm doing a post that links out somewhere else to another web page.
Ted,
Yeah.
this is Naomi. Yeah, we're at 10 o'clock and we need to start the next section. So maybe we can wrap up your side. Yeah, so we'll let Randy continue next week in the 201 session with the Instagram demo. But hopefully let's whet your appetite a little bit for things that you can do on social media and how to think about getting started for your club on social media. Thanks.